Okay, before going on to the break, we started on chapter 5, lesson 2, and we were going over proving triangles are congruent. And we went over two postulates, which one was the side, 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 or SSS. And the second postulate was the side, angle, side. So again, we're just going to do 3 problems so that we can refresh our brain and we can go over these 2 postulates to prove that 2 triangles are congruent. So side, angle, side. So I want you to take a problem number 21, this one right here, where it says, which there's some information given to us, but let's see if it follows under the side, side, side postulate or side, angle, side. If it does, remember, the 2 triangles will be congruent. So let's take a look at side BC, and we know BC is congruent to EF. So there's the side there, but now there is also a second side, which is BA and DE that are congruent. But let's take a look at this side. There's no information given to us for us to determine that these 2 sides are the same. That way, it cannot follow under the side, side, side postulate. Now let's take a look at the second postulate, which is the side, angle, side. And remember, they have to follow the same pattern in order for us to determine that the 2 triangles will be congruent. So we have a side here. And also BC and FE, it's the congruent side. But the angle that it's next, in this case, will be angle E or angle B. There's not enough information for us to determine that it would be congruent. So for number 21, we can say that there is not enough information for us to determine that those 2 triangles are congruent. But now, let's take a look at problem number 23. Can you guys see it there? Okay, there is 2 triangles that are put together, but we know MP, it's the segment that is part of the 2 triangles right here, this one. So we know that MQ is congruent to NP, and remember, it's because of the tick mark. There's only one tick mark here. There's another single tick mark right here, so we know that those 2 segments are congruent. So MQ and NP are congruent. Now we know that MN is congruent to QP because of the 2 tick marks. We can see, but now this segment, there's no signs for us to determine that it's the same, but we do know that MP is part of both triangles, so we can say that MP is congruent to MP. Therefore, we can say that the postulate that we use to determine the number 20, that the 2 triangles are congruent is by that side, side, side. Okay, that's the postulate that we use, knowing that all 3 angles of the 2 triangles are congruent. And we can say right here, MQ congruent to MP, MN congruent to QP, and MP congruent to MP, because this segment is part of the 2 triangles. Therefore, it is congruent. Now let's take a look at number 24. Okay, so number 24, again, we have this segment in the middle that it's part of the 2 triangles, so therefore we know that it is congruent, even though there's no information that tells us right away. But we know that WX, it's congruent to segment XY or side XY. there's also an angle that it's congruent. So angle X, it's congruent to angle X. Angle X is also part of the two triangles. And we have this side right here, the segment in the middle, which is XZ, congruent to segment XZ. Therefore, we can determine using the side angle side postulate, those two triangles are also congruent. Again, this is just a review so that you can refresh your mind using the side congruence postulate or using the side angle side. Again, if you have any questions, you can review this video and go from there. Thank you.